All right, welcome to today's explainer. We're diving straight into a massive question in the WordPress space. How on earth do you add a real ChatGPT bot to your site without, spending hours pulling your hair out over complex code? Today's source material makes a pretty bold claim, saying you can literally do it in exactly 3 minutes. Let's break down exactly how.
3 minutes? I mean, it sounds a little too good to be true, right? Normally, when we talk about integrating AI into an existing website, we're thinking about API keys, custom development, and just endless troubleshooting. So naturally, when we see a claim that you can have a fully functioning, highly intelligent ChatGPT bot live on your site in the time it takes to brew a cup of coffee, we really got to ask, how is that even possible?
Well, the answer is a tool called WP ChatBox. And for non-technical users, this is a real game changer because it's built entirely as a native WordPress plugin. That means absolutely zero coding, no complicated setup protocols, and nothing deeply technical that requires hiring a developer. You just treat it like any other plugin in your ecosystem.
So to put this 3-minute claim to the test, our source lays out 3 super streamlined steps. Download the plugin, install and activate it, and train your AI employee. Let's walk through the whole shebang.
Step 1 is as straightforward as it gets. You just head over to WPChatbox.com. From there, you pick your plan based on your site's size and expected conversation volume. And crucially, the source points out there is a free trial available. So you can easily get started, test it out in your own environment, and download the plugin zip file without having to commit up front. Once that zip file is on your hard drive, step 1 is totally done.
Moving right along to step 2, and this is where you'll realize just how fast this actually moves. You go into your own WordPress dashboard, click on Plugins, Add New, and then Upload Plugin. You select that exact zip file you just grabbed, click Install Now, and hit Activate. If you've used WordPress for any amount of time, you've done this 100 times. And the wild part? At this exact moment, the plugin is installed and the chat widget is already appearing live on your site.
Which brings us to step 3, training your AI employee.
Now, an AI is really only as smart as the information it has, right? Inside the WP ChatBox settings, there's a field called Business Data. Think of this exactly like handing a briefing manual to a brand new human employee on their very first day. You wouldn't expect a new hire to just instantly know your refund policy without giving them a manual. It's the exact same logic here. You're actively briefing your AI employee on your products, services, pricing, and opening hours so it can represent you perfectly.
But how long does this training actually take? Well, if you know your business, honestly, it's about a 5 to 10 minute task. Why? Because you do not have to write everything from scratch. You simply paste your existing website content directly into that business data field. You grab the text from your About page, your pricing page, your FAQ page, and you just drop it right in. Recycling your existing content is absolutely the key to hitting that 3-minute speed. Once you hit save, your bot is officially trained and ready to answer visitors. 3 steps, 3 minutes, and boom, your bot is live.
Now let's look at the front-end customer experience.
So when a visitor clicks that chat button floating in the corner of your screen, they aren't just instantly talking to a blank prompt. A small form pops up first, asking for their name, their country, and their email address. They fill that in, and then the chat opens. Guys, this is a massive, passive value add. Before they even say hello, before they ask a single question, their email is automatically captured. Every single visitor who initiates a chat immediately becomes a lead in your database, which lets you follow up with email marketing later on, even if they don't buy a thing today. Okay, so once they're inside the chat, they ask their question. And here is where the ChatGPT architecture really flexes its muscles. The bot answers instantly. And get this, it auto-detects 5 major languages: English, French, Arabic, Spanish, and Chinese. There's absolutely zero language setup required on your end. The bot simply figures it out on its own based on what the user types. For an international site or a WooCommerce store with a global footprint, the source notes this removes a huge technical barrier. 1 single bot, 5 languages, and literally 0 extra work for you.
Now, a very common and totally valid concern with AI is hallucination, right? That fear that a chatbot is just going to confidently invent wrong information if it gets confused. But the source highlights a really reassuring built-in safety net here. If a visitor asks a highly specific question that is not in your business data, the bot is programmed to give a polite response saying it doesn't have that information, and then suggest the visitor contact you directly. It relies purely on the parameters you gave it. Nothing made up, nothing random. It never leaves the customer hanging with a confidently wrong answer.
Next up, we're mining admin conversation logs.
Moving behind the curtain to the back end, every single chat session is meticulously recorded. You get the visitor's name, email, country, and this really neat 3-column layout showing their specific questions and the AI's exact answers. It completely removes the guesswork from what's happening on your site.
And honestly, these admin logs are absolute gold. Why? Because it is literally free, 24/7 customer research. When you start reading through these logs, you're going to notice distinct patterns. You'll see the exact same questions popping up again and again, and that data tells you precisely what is missing from your website. Like, if everyone keeps asking about shipping to Canada, well, you immediately know you need to update your FAQ, refine your product pages, and tighten up your sales copy. The bot isn't just answering questions, it's actively telling you how to improve your entire business. And of course, you maintain total aesthetic and functional control over the whole thing. You can customize the chat widget's name to match your brand, upload a custom avatar image, and dictate the exact pages where the bot shows up or remains hidden. You hold the keys to exactly how this AI employee presents itself.
So, let's bring this all together. We started by asking if it was truly possible to deploy a fully functional ChatGPT bot on a WordPress site in just 3 minutes. By downloading WP ChatBox, uploading it like any standard plugin, and simply pasting in your existing FAQ data, the source material answers with a definitive yes. You get automated lead capture, instant multilingual support, and a literal goldmine of customer research data. Which leaves us with one final thought. With the technical barriers to AI completely removed, how will this level of instant automation change the baseline expectation for every single website on the internet? Check out the source material, and we'll see you in the next explainer.